بالله وكفى. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. همين في الجولة ديالي دقمة ليالها كنا هذا برنامج كامر عالم كورك جرام ولي باكم ده هلا هو بيسميه سكدين سوار قادة قنصلية دا إسرائيلية اللي تم جلادة منيج دلك الجرم كان فهني كباين برنامج كسين هنا بوريس جونسون رئيس الوزراء هراء إنجليزكا يولي باوسا كدو هي هليس أما بربرك كدم بي هليس يوكرين لجلك ولجلك كرتا روشكا iyo saasaatow sidagaalka la afjara barnaamijka yaasiin gudbiyana qodobada kalena siinhay waliba ku madaxda hoggaanka ciidamada Iran Siraayo guuto Ali Abdullah iyo waliba usana liya Israa'iil waa in iyo markaasiiti waliba iyo kriyooda hayteen iyo Iran iyo ka jawaab u doona dilka Ismaaciil Haniya sababta Iran waliba iyo waa horeyn edeeytay in dilkaasi ka jawaabasa laakiin siriid Israa'iil been walay barnaamijka siinkayna Beijing waliba ka daray shirka iskaanadowka wadamada China waa wadanka China iyo dalalka Afrika ulhayga dawladda Soomaaliya kan Kenya iyo wadamo kale iyo meel ku sugan aas afweeka ka jira dadku ulhayalka meel ku sugan barnaamijka siinkayna Imaaraadka Carabtan waliba iyo markaasaytii heshiis la saxeystay Jordan afar heliis waaye waliba iyo ka kahayna 2.7 bilyan oo dollarka Mareykanka waa mashruuc maalgaladow oo tareen ka soo iskiri doona dekadaha aqaba ee dalka Jordan iyo saasato gobolada macdanta ee al-Shadiya ee Kochor ee Imaaraadka Carabta qodobadaas iyo warar kale oo weyn oo Biden xogtiisa ka jirto barnaamijka mura caalamka وهي برنامجك مر عالم كي ورتلك أرلاadi la dararsan qodobkan koreen barnaamijka oo nimadanka bilowdan waliba ra'iisul wasaarihi hore Ingiriiska Boris Johnson iyo waliba usa gudow haya ama waliba Boris naftirkiisa Boris Johnson ka dambeeyay inuu soo burbura heliiskan ka dambeeyay Ukraine iyo la gal jartay Ruushka si dagaalka la afjara iyana hadda waliba la taliyaha Ukraine inay dhaqan galiida qoritaan qasabka waa dheelitirka inay ciidanka ka biiran barnaamijka mura caalamka la darartan weerarna waliba ka dhigay safaarada Munich waa safaarada Israa'iil ee kaleeta magaalada Munich ee dalka Jarmalka israasaaseen dhamartii booliska iyo dadka weerarka ka qaadan iyadoo weerarkan la fashilay faahfaahin kale oo dheeriya ma kabin weerarkan wali Israa'iiliyiinta talikuxeensho waa Iiraaniyiinta talikuxeensho ama taliyaha guud ee ciidanka waa talikuxeenka guud ee ciidanka Iiraan Siraayo guuto علي وعبد يولي بوسليا إسرائيل وإن مرنا ينكريون إن كجيبه دونا إيران دلك إسماعيل هنية إيران ولي بقى يهورين أدايتين يودي أردن أندياري دون تسيان كجيبه بتعدوشة وصلنا هذا الشيء ولي بوسشي إن جوابتي وقع ميد دون وقت الرئاسة وقع ميد دون وقت الرئاسة وجاميها كرة والخميني يساسات وطليها عيدنك برامج كده درتن جو بايدن ololaha uu soo kudubay waliba iska faanay in administration shama maamulka Mareykanka xiliga hilkahay walbadanka bedeli saasaatowna dawladnimada daadji dimuqraadiyiinta hormari waliba uu suuli ololanka jiray in Kamala Harris landoorada uu hay isla markaas saas waliba nagaasay in guuleysay xisbiga dimuqraadiga meela oo waa meelo ku guuleysay kora Joe Biden waa lankaleeyay Donald J Trump oo hogaamiyaha xisbiga jamhuuriga
Folks, I've celebrated many Labor Days in Pittsburgh. And it's always good to be back with so many great friends. Many of whom flew with me on Air Force One today represent the union that's been with me since the beginning of my career. They're not that old, but since I was a 29-year-old kid. I want to thank Liz Schuler, the AFL-CIO, and Kenny, the IBEW, for that strong endorsement. By the way, we have an expression in Delaware. IBEW, when I ran for president, they're the ones that brung me to the dance starting off. Not a joke. And Dave McCall, the steel workers. Dave, in 1972, steelworkers were the first union to endorse a 29-year-old kid named Joe Biden who wasn't old enough to be senator when he got elected. It mattered. A guy named Huey Carcella was the district president because we used to have one of the largest labor forces in Claymont, Delaware, and North, over 4,000 workers. And it was, anyway, it all went south. But Huey went to the national president, I.W. Abel, and he said he wanted me to get endorsed. Everybody thought it was crazy. I literally wasn't old enough to be sworn in the day I got elected. But guess what? President Abel stuck with me. And they got stuck with me for the rest of my career. Eric Dean of the Iron Workers, Tim Driscoll of Bricklayers, April Bell of the SEIU, Lee Saunders of AFSCME, and a great friend, Lee. And Jimmy Williams of the Painters, Allied Trades, and his dad. His dad is a really good man. Mike Coleman, a sheet metal worker. We also got some of the best elected officials in America. Governor Josh Shapiro is doing an incredible job. The great Lieutenant Governor Austin Davis. And one of America's best words, Ed Gainey. Ed, you're doing a hell of a job. And Sarah Namato, county executive, I think is the hardest job in American politics. Everybody knows where you live and they think you can solve all the problems. You don't have enough money. But I tell you one thing, I'm the first president ever. I used to be a county official when I was 26 years old, and it always bothered me that the federal government would send money to the state to be distributed to the county. Well, what the hell is the state going to send to the county for? All the state reps need the money. But guess what? Under my administration, it goes straight to the county. One of my best friends, my name's Joe Biden, I'm from Scranton, Pennsylvania. Bobby Casey's been a great friend. His dad was a great friend as well. And by the way, we grew up 3 blocks from one another, 3 blocks. And they still worry about us by showing up. And guess what? I was on North Washington Avenue, he was in Adams. Guess what? They've renamed North Washington Avenue down where I live, Biden Way. Worth the effort. Bob will make sure you get reelected again. And while we couldn't be here, I want to thank his partner in the Senate, John Fetterman. But if you're in a foxhole, you want Fetterman in there with you. He couldn't be here today, but guess what? He sent the best part of the family, Giselle. She's here. Let me just say, it means so much to be with a true friend, the Vice President and the next great President of the United States of America, Kamala Harris. Look, folks, I come from 2 neighborhoods where it's not hard to say the word union. But you know what? The fact of the matter is, an awful lot of politicians have trouble saying union. They got working people. Guess what? I'm not one of them, neither is Kamala. We know the simple truth. Wall Street did not build America. The middle class built America, and unions built the middle class. That's a fact. By the way, that is not a slogan, that's a fact. I asked the Treasury Department to do a study, and it shows that when unions do well, all workers in America do better. That's a fact. That's a fact. The biggest reason why our economy is the strongest economy in the world today, without question, because of unions. You know, my dad, like many of his generation, going into World War II, wasn't able to go to college. My dad was a really well-read guy, and he was always engaged. And he'd come home from work before he'd go back and close up the shop and for dinner. And the dinner was a place where we had discussions and incidentally ate. You know, my dad taught me. My dad would say this all the time. Remember, Joey, a job, and I give you my word to this, a job is about a lot more than a paycheck. It's about your dignity. It's about the community. It's about your place in the community. And it's about being able to look your kid in the eye and say, honey, it's going to be okay, and mean it. Well, that's why. That's why Tom and I are so proud of the greatest job creation record of any president in a single term in American history. $16 million new jobs so far. 800,000 manufacturing jobs. Eight years ago, how many times did you hear about we can no longer be the manufacturing capital of the world? Where the hell is that written? We are the greatest manufacturing city, county in the world, state in the world, city in the world. We're going to remain that way. Now, I'll tell you something. Kamala and I are damn proud that we protected the pensions of over 1 million workers and retirees. Remember all those years of promise we're going to do something about it? Well, damn it, we finally did with the Butch-Lewis Act. Over 52,000 workers and retirees across Pennsylvania alone are benefiting from that. Not only did we restore the full amount, we got them their back pay as well. We made them whole again. As I once said to Barack, that's a big deal. Yeah, that's a long story. Yes, heard Liz and Kenny describe another big deal. Union workers are rebuilding American infrastructure and building new factories here in America. They told me we couldn't get anything done in infrastructure. $1.2 trillion we got done. Remember Trump, for 4 years, promised every month Infrastructure Week. For 4 years he promised that. He didn't build a damn thing. Nothing. I mean, not nothing. Well, thanks to our infrastructure law, Pennsylvania so far has received $17 billion. $17 billion. Over 2,000 projects, from clean water to affordable high-speed internet for every Pennsylvanian. The projects that include $858 million to expand the Montgomery Lock, better to accommodate bigger barges, to get millions of tons of goods and shelves faster, more reliable, and create thousands of union jobs. I was working on the Great Lakes, and I got a call from Senator Casey. He's been no bigger champion than Casey for this. You know what I call him? I call him the Casey Locks. Not Goldilocks, the Casey Locks. Bobby's also a champion of Pennsylvania's energy communities. We passed what's called the Casey Credit, available to 45 Pennsylvania counties where energy jobs such as coal mining had been before and disappeared before we came to office. The Casey Credit provides major incentives for companies to build new battery factories, wind turbines, and more, to create high-paying jobs in those coal and natural gas communities. And on top of that, there's over $4 billion and private companies have committed to invest in clean energy and advanced manufacturing here in Pennsylvania. $4 billion. And guess what? With your support, I signed an executive order to make sure large federal construction projects all use project labor agreements. Folks at home who maybe watch this and tell them know what a project labor agreement is. It's when contractors, subcontractors, and unions put in place before the construction begins what the rules are, before it begins. These agreements make sure construction is top-notch, on time, on task, and by the way, on...
guud ahaan waliban taakiiraan barnaamijka Mura Caalamka Warteelka Arlaadi